5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, I'm Pauline Bernardo and I'm reporting about the sense of hearing or the ears. The ear is the organ that detects sounds. It only receives sounds but also aids in balance and body position. So ang ears daw ay ginagamit natin for hearing process or yung pag-communicate sa ibang tao. Parts of the ear. Ang ear ay may tatlong major parts. Ang outer ear, ang middle ear, at ang inner ear. So firstly, yung outer ear o yung pinakatenga natin sa labas. So first, ear flap. The sound waves that enter the ear via the ear flap. So dito daw nagsisimula, papasok daw yung sound waves. Next, ear canal amplifies the sounds and channelize them to the middle ear. So from pinna, papasok daw siya sa ear canal para pumunta sa eardrum. So next, the middle ear. Eardrum or the tympanic membrane, a thin membrane that acts a partition between the outer ear and the middle ear. So ito siya. Kapag pumasok na yung sound waves, dyan nagva-vibrate. Next, hammer or malleus. A tiny bone located next to the eardrum. Anvil. It vibrates a response to the vibration of hammer. So pag nag-vibrate yung eardrum, mag-vibrate yung hammer, mag-vibrate din yung anvil. Next, yung stirrup or stapes. It also vibrates and passes the compressional waves to the inner ear. So from eardrum, mag-vibrate, tapos hammer, anvil, and then stirrup. So next, the inner ear. It consists cochlea, semicircular canals, and auditory nerve. So ang cochlea is a row structure that can stretch through about 3 cm. So makikita natin sa picture, siya yung parang bahay ng suso. Sabi nila, sa loob daw niyan, may fiber, nagparang silang piano keys or yun yung intonation or tonation na naririnig natin. Next, the semicircular canals. These are fluids. Fluid-filled loops attached to the cochlea and help in maintaining the balance. Then next, the auditory nerve, the electrical impulses generated by the nerve cells and then pass to the brain. So, after yung hearing process, ang pinakahuli niya, auditory nerve, tapos pupunta na siya sa brain. So, magpapakita ko sa inyo ng video para ma-explain maigi yung parts ng ear.
Human anatomy, the ear. The ear is that part of the human body that detects sound from the environment and delivers it to the brain. With the help of the ear, humans have the ability to locate the sources of sound. Apart from being just a receiver of sound, it also plays a major role in maintaining a proper balance and position of the body. So, as per laws of science, sound is actually caused when the air molecules are set into vibration, and one can hear the sound when the ear picks up or feels these vibrations, or sound waves. There are 9 main parts of the ear that include the pinna, the ear canal, the eardrum, the hammer, anvil, stirrup, cochlea, eustachian tube, and the auditory nerve. The pinna, also known as the auricle, is the visible portion of the ear that is extremely seen. This helps in locating sound sources and directs the sound into the ear. This does not play any role in maintaining the balance of sound that is heard. The ear canal is a tube-like pipeline that connects the outside of the ear to the eardrum. The eardrum is the middle of the ear, which vibrates on receiving sound waves. The hammer, on receiving the vibrations from the eardrum, sends them to the anvil, that in turn passes them to the stirrup, and these are then passed to the inner ear. The inner ear consists of the cochlea and a liquid. The cochlea is a shell-like structure. The eustachian tube controls the amount of pressure in the ear. The auditory nerve carries the sound to the brain, and it is the brain that interprets the sound. The ear, together with the brain, controls the balance of the body. All the movements are controlled by this balance and also with the help of muscles. The liquid in the inner ear that we mentioned earlier is actually responsible for the balance. The liquid in the ear moves along in sync with the physical movement of the body, and thus sending information to the brain on how the body is actually moving at any given instance. The earlobe is the soft lower part of the external ear, and this does not have any firmness nor any elasticity. It contains a cartilage that has a large amount of blood supply that provides warmth to the ears and hence aids in the overall balance process.
Process. So, ang hearing process daw, yung sound waves na manggagaling sa labas ay papasok mo sa outer ear that consists pinna and ear canal. Di papasok daw dito ang sound waves na magpapavibrate ng eardrum. At magbabibrate din yung hammer, incus, at stirrup. Pag nag-vibrate yan, pupunta siya dito sa may semicircular canal na pupunta sa cochlear nerve. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyong parang bahay ng suso na mayroong fiber daw sa loob na intonation or parang piano keys. After that, pupunta siya dito sa auditory nerve. Papunta siya doon, papunta siya ng brain. Magpapakita ulit ako sa inyo ng video kung ano talaga yung actual process ng hearing.
Ears are constantly active. They pick up sound waves and change them into information that the brain can interpret, such as music or speech. Sound is a pressure wave that can vibrate either quickly or slowly. Slow vibrations produce deep sounds, while quick vibrations produce high-pitched sounds. Sound enters the ear and is directed through the ear canal, where it first reaches the eardrum. As the eardrum begins to vibrate, it sets the ossicular chain in motion. The ossicular chain consists of the hammer, anvil, and the stirrup. Sound vibrations move along the ossicular chain and into the inner ear. Within the inner ear, the cochlea plays a central role. It is here that the mechanical energy of sound is converted into complex electrical signals, which are then passed on to the brain. In simplified terms, the cochlea is a spiral-shaped tube filled with fluid. Sensory cells, also called hair cells, line the entire length of the cochlea. These hair cells have varying degrees of sensitivity for the detection of different tones or frequencies. This allows the ear to perceive the entire spectrum of sound. The change from mechanical vibration to electrical pulse is a complex process resulting from the movement of hair cells in the cochlea. Along the entire length of the cochlea, the hair cells are arranged like the keys of a piano. Hair cells located at the base or lower region of the cochlea are responsible for high frequency, while hair cells at the apex are responsible for the low frequencies. As the fluid in the cochlea is set in motion, it causes a corresponding movement of the fine structures on the surface of the hair cells to take place. These movements cause tension differences which produce electrical signals that are passed along the hearing nerve to the brain. The auditory cortex of the brain interprets this information as sound, for example as music or speech. The entire chain of events, including the various steps that convert sound waves from the environment into information that the brain can interpret, happens so fast that individuals can hear sound both continuously and instantaneously. Within this complex chain of events, there are a number of factors which can cause an individual to experience hearing loss. A loss of hearing can range from a mild to moderate hearing deficiency to a total hearing loss. In general, there are three main types of hearing loss which differ from one another depending on the part of the ear that is affected, be it the outer, middle, or inner ear.
Common ear problems. So may 5 daw tayo na common ear problems sa ears. First daw, yung ear infection. Ear infection, also known as otitis media, is caused by improper drainage of fluid that collects behind the eardrum during cold, allergy, or upper respiratory infection in the presence of bacteria or viruses. So ear infection daw, sa likod daw siya nangyayari ng eardrum due to viruses and bacteria. So next naman yung swimmer ear. Swimmer's ear or otitis externa is typical a bacterial infection of the ear canal which differs from otitis media which involves fluid behind the eardrum. So, ang swimmer's ears naman daw, parang bacteria naman daw siya sa ear canal. So, ibig sabihin, sa outer ear siya. Pagkaroon daw nagkaroon ng bacteria, pumapasok daw yung fluid dun sa eardrum, kaya nagkaroon din ng fluid behind the eardrum. Next, earwax. Earwax is normal in healthy ears. So, ito yung tinatawag nating tutuli. Isa lang daw tong moisture and to protect the skin of the ear canal and to trap dust and particles before they reach the eardrum. So, ibig sabihin yung earwax, normal lang siya, pero tinatanggal pa din natin siya. Siya daw yung parang silya ng ilong, yung nagkukuha ng dust to prevent papuntang eardrum. So, next, yung ringing ears or tetanus. Tetanus is very common and can be annoying and distracting. So, ito tetanus ears, daw siya, basically, bacteria yung cause niya. Tapos daw, kapag daw nagkaroon ka ng ganito, parang daw mayroong na umuugong sa tenga mo, kaya tinawag siyang ringing ears. And lastly, the hearing problems. Ito naman, basically, yung hindi nakakarinig na tao. Meron tayong alternative na magkaroon ng hearing aid. So, that's all for my report. Sana natuto kayo. And this is Paulina Bernardo signing off.
I am Ronald P. Castello and I will discuss about the sense of taste. Ano nga ba yung taste? Ano yung meaning nito? Taste, o minsan tinatawag rin na gustatory perception. Para sa formal term, or gustation, is the sensory impression of food or other substances on the tongue and is one of the 5 traditional senses. Yung taste, yun yung ability to respond to dissolve the molecules and ions na tinatawag na taste buds. Ay, paano nga ba natin na-detect ang taste? Na-detect natin ang taste dahil sa meron tayong taste receptor cells. Kung taste receptor cells are clustered in the taste buds and is scattered in other areas of the body. Each taste bud has a port that opens out to the surface of the tongue, enabling molecules and ions taken into mouth to reach the receptor cells inside. Good afternoon. I am Ronald P. Castello and I will be discussing the sense of taste. What is the meaning of taste? Taste, or sometimes it is also called gustatory perception for a more formal term. Or gustation is the sensory impression of food or other substance on the tongue and is one of the 5 traditional senses. Ito yung ability to respond para ma-dissolve yung mga molecules and ions na are called taste buds. Paano nga ba natin na-detect ang taste? Human can detect taste with our taste receptor cells. These are clustered in the taste buds and scattered in other areas of the body. Bawat taste buds ay may port that opens out to the surface of the tongue, enabling molecules saka ions taken into the mouth para ma-reach yung receptor cells inside. Taste receptor cells. Ito yung nakikita natin sa taste buds. Pero ano nga ba yung taste receptor cells? Taste receptor cells are receptors which facilitates the sensation of taste. Taste buds. Taste bud contains the receptors for taste. They are located around the small structure on the upper surface of our tongue. Soft palate, upper esophagus, and epiglottis, which are called papillae. Lingual papillae na present sa human tongue. The first one type is the fungiform papillae. Itong fungiform papillae na to is para siyang mushroom shape. Kung titingnan natin, yung fungiform papillae is presented siya sa dorsal surface of our tongue as well as at the sides of our tongue. Another type types of papilla is the filiform papillae. Etong papillae naman ito is thin, long, and V-shaped cones. Ang kaibahan nito sa other papillae is ito walang taste buds unlike the others na meron. But ito yung pinaka most numerous. These papillae are mechanical and not involved in gustation. They are characterized by increase of keratinization. Types of papillae is the foliate papillae. Itong papillae naman ito is these are ridges and grooves towards the posterior part of our tongue. Ito'y makikita sa lateral borders, innervated by facial nerve, anterior papillae, and the glossopharyngeal nerve, or posterior papillae. Another types of papillae is the circumvallate papillae. There are only about 10 to 14 of these papillae on most people. Present to at the back of our oral part of the tongue, and they are arranged the circumvallate papillae. There are only about 10 to 14 of these papillae on most people, and they are presented at the back of the oral part of our tongue. They are arranged in a circular shape, growing just in the front of the sulcus terminalis of the tongue. They are associated with ducts of von Ebner's glands and are innervated by the glossopharyngeal nodule. Help us to identify toxins and maintain nutrition. We have 5 basic types of taste. The sweetness, sourness, saltiness, the bitterness, and the umami. Salty and sour taste sensations are both detected through ion channels, while sweet, bitter, and umami tastes, however, are detected by way of G-protein coupled taste receptors. The first one is sweetness. Usually, it is regarded as a pleasurable sensation. It is produced by the presence of sugars and a few other substances. Sweetness is often connected with the aldehydes and ketones, which contain a carbonyl group. Sweetness is detected by a variety of G-protein coupled receptors coupled to the G-protein station found on the taste buds. At least 2 different variants of sweetness receptors must be activated to the brain to register sweetness are candies, cakes, honeys, and others. The next one is sourness. Sourness is the taste that detects acidity. The sourness of substance is rated relatively to dilute hydrochloric acid, which has a sourness index of 1, while tartaric acid is 0.7. Citric acid is 0.46, while carbonic acid is 0.06. An example of sour is vinegar and others. The next basic taste is saltiness. Saltiness is a taste produced primarily by the presence of sodium ions. Other ions of alkali metals group also taste salty. The further from sodium, the less the sensation. The next basic taste is the saltiness. Saltiness, ibig sabihin na alat. It is a taste produced primarily by the presence of sodium ions. Other ions of the alkali metal groups also taste salty. The farther from sodium, the less salty the sensation is. The size of the lithium and potassium resemble those of sodium, and thus the saltiness is most similar in contrast. So their salty taste differs accordingly. The saltiness of a substance is rated relative to sodium chloride or NaCl, which has an index of 1. One is bitterness. Sabi nila, ito daw yung most sensitive of the taste, and many perceive it as unpleasant, sharp, or disagreeable. But sometimes, it is desirable and intentionally added via various bittering agents. Common bitter foods and beverages include coffee, unsweetened cocoa, South American meat, bitter umami. Nung elementary pa ako, ang alam ko lang taste is yung 4 na basic taste. Sweet, sour, bitter, and salty. Pero ngayon, nadagdag na yung umami. Ano nga ba yung umami? It is an appetitive taste and it's described as a savory or meaty taste. Itong umami na to, it can be tasted in cheese and soy sauce. And while also found in many other fermented and aged fruits. This taste is also present in tomatoes, grains, and beans. Monosodium glutamate, or MSG, developed as a food additive in 1908 by Hikun Ikeda, produces a strong umami taste. This is sa taste natin. Patients with Addison's disease, pituitary insufficiency, or cystic fibrosis sometimes have a hypersensitive to the 4 primary taste. Kumbaga yung panlasa nila, medyo sensitive na. Meron din tayong mga disordered sa taste. Agusia, hypogeusia, dysgeusia, parageusia, and hypergeusia. Agusia, ito yung complete loss of taste. As in, wala ka nang malalasahan. Hindi mo na makaklasify yung bitter sa salty. Parang isa na lang yung panlasa mo. Hypogeusia. Ito naman, mare-reduce yung sense of taste. Parang sa halip na hindi mo kagad siya makaklasify as sweet or gano'n. Dysgeusia. Ito naman yung distortion in sense of taste. Parageusia, persistent abnormal taste. Parang abnormal na yung palasa mo. Ito namang hypergeusia, abnormally heightened sense of taste. Thank you for listening.